only gets realer from here. Now, in today's topic, we're going to be discussing the Scorpio tactics that you never should underestimate. And I'm also going to reveal the secrets they don't want you to know. But first, I want to give a shout out to all my fellow Pisceans out there. Gang, you all already know. We in the build done. Also want to give a shout out to all my 2-2s and my 3-3s and my 2-2-2s and my 3-3-3s and my 7-7-7s. And shout out to any other angelical numerical numbers that I may have forgot to mention. Also want to thank everybody for coming out to support the channel. Thank you. And those of you that are new, welcome to the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to click that bell notification to be notified of my upcoming videos and content. And we're going to jump right in. Also want to give a shout out to all the members, the real ones. Yeah. You know, appreciate y'all. And anybody else that may want to get a membership, I would recommend that you do so to get those public shout outs and those perks. Okay, so we talking about Scorpio tactics, you guys. Now, this is something that most people don't talk about. You underestimate it until you are in a situation that you may be a victim of, okay? Now, this can happen to you whether or not you're a Scorpio. It doesn't matter if it's Scorpio man or woman, because both are masters of strategy, manipulation, and silent power moves. Now, in this video, I'm going to break it down to y'all because these tactics of Scorpio, they affect different signs, okay, differently. Now, another thing is that other signs can get affected emotionally, mentally, and energetically, okay? Now, I'm going to tell you guys how to recognize these moves. Now, when it comes to some examples of Scorpio tactics, okay, how they affect each sign is the first one is silent observation. See, you don't know when and where your Scorpio man or female is, you know, I call it silent sniping you, where they're, you know, silently observing you. And this requires them to like pull back, the hot and cold. 1 minute they're with you, 1 minute they're not. And they may purposely pull back just to see what you're going to do. Now, other signs are not as much affected by this, but there's one sign in particular that is, okay? And that sign is Taurus. See, because if a Scorpio does the silent observation with Taurus, that's going to put pressure on Taurus. See, and that also going to make a Taurus, you know, tell their info, reveal any type of info that's going on personally. No, well, welcome, Francis. No, I haven't seen that before. What's going on, Marty? What's going on? Welcome to the live. Okay, so Taurus is the most affected by this strategy of Scorpio. Now, the next one we're going to talk about is strategic jealousy. See, it's not like a sudden jealousy that one may feel towards someone, you know, because of envy. It's more of a strategic jealousy. See, and like I said, more than likely, it could be related to sabotage. Now, who will be the most frustrated out of all 12 zodiac signs when Scorpio does this? I'm going to tell you who. Gemini, see? And I'm going to tell you why. Because of their social freedom, see? Because best believe that a Scorpio man or woman, they don't want you going around talking to other people, being friends with other people, see? Especially out of hindsight, they don't want you going around meeting new people, see? And if they don't even care if that person has, you know, maybe, you know, a major benefit to you, you know, resources, anything. Now, that's something that could bother a Gemini. As you guys know, they like to get to know people, you know, very social, and they like their freedom. Now, the next one, which I know a lot of you have already experienced, no matter what sign you are, is the intense eye contact that Scorpio oftentimes gives, okay? And there's one sign that goes through an experience of unnerving, okay? Now, other zodiac signs might not be as affected as this particular sign, but it's Leo, see? By intense contact, that a Scorpio will give you, kind of like a leopard looking after an alligator, and all of a sudden it's kind of like that stealthy, what I was referring to yesterday, that stealthy type of behavior. Now, the thing about it is that will unnerve a Leo, see? But at the same time, there's one particular sign that will actually honor this, and that is Cancer, see? Because Cancer wants you to be fully engagement. They want you to be fully engaged in a conversation or a one-to-one with them. So that would enable them both to have, their emotions shown. And as I said before, this works in Cancer's favor, because now at that point, the Scorpio is vulnerable, if that makes sense. See? So they're more, quicker to open up their emotions to a Cancer. So now the next one is, let me see. I can't help you with that, Ajax. I don't know, bro. Let me see. I don't know. I had no idea. You might want to go for a Scorpio. I don't know. That might be a help. That might be the, help for you in regards to that, Ajax. Now, the next one is emotional memory recall that Scorpio often does as a tactic. And they know how to use this on, okay, so there's only one sign that is mostly affected by this, and it's Virgo. Now, I'm going to tell you why. Because this would make Virgos guilty, see? And that's one thing. You could bring up something at the wrong time, but it could be the right time for the Scorpio to, catch the Virgo off guard. Now, another tactic, a strong revenge tactic of Scorpio, and it doesn't have to just be revenge. It could just be a strategy, see? It could go either way, is subtle testing of your loyalty. That's not fair at all. That's not fair like that. You don't know when you're being tested by a Scorpio when it comes to this. So they could subtly just test your loyalty. And the only sign that will be totally confused by this will be Libra, see? So that's the thing, is that Libra would feel as though if they are with you every, to the day-to-day, maybe more times out of a week than none, they will oftentimes assume that, that, hey, I'm loyal to you. But that's going to piss off a Libra. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, the next strategy of Scorpio as a tactic that's often used on others is holding grudges. See, why? To establish control that leads to what? Manipulation. And what zodiac sign is mostly affected by this? Capricorn, see? So that's the thing. Why is that? Because Capricorn believes that, hey, in order for me to climb, I can't have any type of, situations at hand to set me back, see, to push me back. Saturn already does that, see? So you just making it worse, Scorpio, when you hold grudges and, and you're using it for manipulation. The sign that's most affected by is Capricorn. Now, the thing about it, which is the next Scorpio tactic that's often used, is power of withdrawal, see? And the only sign that is affected by this is Aries, see? Because Aries, even if an Aries is independent, to themselves, they still want attention, from time to time. You just, can't totally ignore an Aries, no matter how mad they are or how, let's say how much a loner they may be. They still want you to come around from time to time. But the difference is Scorpio uses this as a strategy, see? They use the power of withdrawal in order to what? Control the situation. So that's going to scare an Aries, see? Because that's even worse. That's even worse than a challenge, by you just totally just taking all your emotion and everything with you away from that Aries. So you could have, made a friendship only to what? Slowly just dip out of that person's life, see, to control them. Now, the next one that I have is emotional mirroring. And we talked about this yesterday. And why is this a strong Scorpio man or woman tactic? Is because when it comes to the entangle, it leads into an entanglement, okay? Now, especially with Pisces, okay? Because the Pisces already mirrors, is the cosmic mirror, is the cosmic sponge, and absorbs. So here, with the emotional mirroring, this is going to lead to an entanglement with Pisces unconsciously. But here's the kicker. Pisces is immune to it. Nothing that Scorpio does bothers Pisces. Pisces cannot be hurt by Scorpio, because Pisces is what? Pisces alchemizes energy, see? And Pisces uses pain for what? Motivation, art. There's nothing you could do to pin that Pisces down to the coffin and say, hey, I got you, you're done for. No, because Pisces is creative with pain. Pisces can create a situation that will require them to heal along the way. And the thing about it is, unconsciously, Scorpio can entangle Pisces, because Pisces is what? Immune to it and fully aware. Now, Pisces, see, remember I said when it comes to titles, name tags, for example, Pisces already knows the detriment of your sign. Pisces already knows that you as a person, you carry, a dangerous personality. Or we could look at you and say, hey, we can hear you speak to us every day and see all the the fuck, the shit that is dangerous that you do from day to day to other people. And it's almost like the Scorpio is completely oblivious to the fact that Pisces is watching them. See? So when the Pisces is aware, remember I said yesterday, when you are aware of something, it can't hurt you. Now, when it comes to the next one of a strong Scorpio tactic is gaslighting small details. See? Making a mountain out of a molehill. And see, one thing for certain, it's only going to rattle one person. See? Who do you think is that's going to rattle out of all the zodiac signs the most? I'm going to tell you, Sagittarius. See? Because that's making a big deal out of small things. So you can only imagine how that would make a Sagittarius feel. Like, hey, you harping on these little things. Hey, man, get over it. Life's too short, Don't take it too serious, and that's the thing. Now, when it comes to the next one I have is the fact that they use secrets as a weaponization, okay? They weaponize secrets. Now, see, Pisces, the difference between Pisces and Scorpio is Pisces doesn't tell secrets. See, Pisces doesn't want to share any secrets at all, especially with Scorpio. So with Scorpio takes your personal private information to later on use it against you or someone else. See, they're not trying to hear you out and, vent around and give you advice about your story. They're trying to use it for later as ammunition. See, now, who is mostly affected by this tactic? Well, when it comes to Taurus, they get intimidated by this. See, Taurus don't want you going around, pillow talking and telling their secrets to other people. See, now the thing about it, for the next one that I have is, charismatic persuasion. See, and here, this type of tactic, what does it do? This really affects people, but one sign in particular, Gemini. This totally sways a Gemini, see? Because listen, every tactic that I'm mentioning is subtle. You don't notice they're doing it until you realize they're doing it, see? And it's almost like, if you would look at it in such a way, according to a Scorpio's arsenal, this is some pretty slick stuff, man. Like, this is not something you would just catch off the top rope, or hey, the diving board, and looking down and being able to see these things clearly. No, these are all like things that you can't see. See, it's like you don't know the motive of that Scorpio until they start doing these tactics. See, that's why I say it's the Freddy Krueger energy. Now, because believe it or not, a Scorpio waits until an opportune time, just like the devil. He waits until he sees you wounded, he sees you tired, he sees that, you know, you're totally oblivious to what he's doing, then he just tries to just sting you, like take you out completely. Now, when it comes to the next one is the fact that he may use the calm intimidation. There's a difference between, you know, someone trying to purposely intimidate you versus a calm intimidation. Now, with the calm intimidation, what does this do? This challenges others. Now, out of all the zodiac signs, who does it challenge the most? Leo, see? And what about the Leo does it challenge the most is the Leo's ego. Now, the thing about it is that imagine someone sitting still and not making any noise, see? But doing this type of tactic, see that? And how can you see this? How you know this to be true? Well, guess why they stare at you the way that they do. They calmly look at you just like a snake. They don't move. They're not really talking to make you feel any more comfortable. And they give you the eye-piercing gaze, and that sometimes that triggers some people to what? Intimidation. See? Like, why is this person looking at me like that? Now, here's the thing. When it comes to, and I'm going to break everything down in examples as I finish these tactics, just mentioning these tactics to you guys and how it affects other zodiac signs first. Then I'll go into the, you know, how your day-to-day dealing with this type of tactics coming from Scorpio, man or woman, in any, you know, scenarios. And I got, you know, my story to share as well. Now, the next thing is the fact that now this just happened to me today. And like I said, I'll go into the story about this tactic. Okay. The next tactic is private pressure tactics. Private pressure tactics. And what does this do? This is done by the Scorpio to confuse you. See? To puzzle you. And guess who it puzzles the most out of all the zodiac signs? Cancer. See? And it's the thing is they like to put pressure on you, and they do this so subtly because you don't realize until your body starts reacting to it. You may start shaking. You may start, you know, getting stressed. You might start feeling like, oh, well, why is this person depending on me and asking me for something so fast in a hurry, right? For example, now, the next one is the fact that when it comes to Scorpio, what type of tactic they will use, okay? Now, this one is hidden motives. See, these hidden motives, imagine you watching a football game and you know how that football game is supposed to be played, but there's something going on behind the scenes where everybody's playing football, but it's not played how it's supposed to be played. So you notice that something is hidden behind the scenes that you're not even aware of. And here's the thing. It triggers all the zodiac signs, but it triggers Virgo the most. Why? Because of the analyst. See? Because of the analyst of the whole situation. Virgo doesn't pick up on Scorpio's hidden motives. See? Because what Virgo goes off of practicality, goes off of the physical, not what's in the dark. See? They can't make a discovery with something unless they see it. Remember, Virgo doesn't believe in intuition, and they don't go off of the things you can't see. They go off of things that you can touch, taste, smell, and you see it. Like, so they don't believe in anything internally done. They believe in what you can touch, what you can, you know, see happen. That's why they like to fix things. See? Because they can see that it's broken. They're not going to go off of intuition to tell them that. No. See? Now, that's the thing. Remember, I said you have to be aware of everything that moves, even what you can't see. Because if you think that for 1 minute with a Scorpio that they don't have something hidden from you, they always hide shit from you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be something petty, or it could be something big, or in between. Both. And the situation is, they're not going to tell you. And a lot of the information could have been useful to you. Like, hey, you got your check on Friday, so why'd you ask me for $20? See, they'll leave that part out because that's a secret. Yeah, I got paid, but I'm still going to ask for $20. See? So they try to be slick. That's a hidden motive. That's why I'm saying it, they don't come direct at you with what they need. They go around the bush. They be very, very, manipulative about it. So that's something that would trigger Virgo. Now, the next one I have is that Scorpio will use as a tactic is strategic charm. Now, this is way worse than Libra. This is way more covert. And see, strategic charm, how this works is it confuses all the zodiac signs. But who it confuses the most? Libra. See, Libra can't handle that type of charm that's strategically done on purpose. See, because naturally Libra does this to what? Save face. They don't use it as, it's not like they're just going around saying, hey, I'm gonna use charm on everybody. No, that's just what ends up happening, because once they feel off balance, they have to do something to smooth everything over and smooth everything out, even if they don't necessarily feel that way. So that's like a person saying, I apologize without meaning it. See, just to save face, because they want to what? Protect their image and how they are looked and seen by others. See, now, when it comes to loyalty traps, this is the next Scorpio tactic. Loyalty traps. Now, what do these loyalty traps do? They challenge all the zodiac signs. Who does it challenge the most? Capricorn. And what about Capricorn does it challenge? Their integrity. It's cold-blooded. See, the thing about it, you got to understand this type of person is emotionally intelligent. See, and knows how the body works, knows how everything about you, and how the things that you probably don't even know about yourself that a Scorpio may have plotted about you. See, and they'll use it to your disadvantage if you are not aware. Now, the next one is the fact that they use emotional intensity. See, so if they feel something, you're going to feel it intensely. You're going to feel it like, oh, wait a minute. Once that Scorpio is mad at you, you're going to definitely know that something's wrong. And it's intense. It's almost like, well, hey, why do you feel like that? Like, okay, now you're coming at me on 10 with the whole, saying things that's like, could start a fight or an argument, or, just a severe misunderstanding, to where whatever that Scorpio would say to you, it'll just sound so intense that it's like, man, I didn't mean to piss you off type of deal. Now, another thing is the next Scorpio tactic that's often used is let me see, focus manipulation. See, focus manipulation. And what does this lead to? This leads to what? Control. See, because everything is tied around control. What, in order for the Scorpio to what? Get his way. Now, just to let you know, this does not work on Pisces. Why? Because of Pisces intuition. See, because Pisces intuition will require a Pisces to wait, to hold out, to drop out, to move to the side, to step back, pull away. It's always the not yet. It's not something that's set in stone, because let's say you're anxious, or let's say, you're stressed, or your body is, shaky. That doesn't mean that, my intuition is saying don't do it. What it is, your intuition is a guide. So it'll tell you, hey, slow down with giving this person money, or hey, don't give that person a ride today or tomorrow, or just stop giving this person rides. That's what the intuition would do. That's how they would communicate to you, speak to you. Now, the next thing that a Scorpio may use as a tactic is strategic silence. Okay. And what this means is that, hey, they would use this to confuse you. Mind you, this is all mind games. See, tied up into all these different arsenal related to tactics. Now, when it comes to the strategic silence, who is it going to confuse the most? Gemini. See, because why? Gemini likes to talk. Think of the old, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way. I put the disclaimer out. These are just examples. Let's say it's an old lady, right? And she has cataracts, and she's probably about what, 75 years old. She has a walker, and she has failed several times by, something, just losing her balance and just falling over, right? And then all of a sudden she talks your ear off because she actually has no friends, nobody to talk to, and all her kids are like, older and live out of state, right? So the only bad thing is, and don't laugh. I see, bro, if you laugh, you're going to hell, bro. Don't even try it, bro. The thing about it is, she has nobody to talk to, and she's a Gemini. Now, what the fuck you think gonna happen? You talking to this, see the funny, this is not funny, but it's an example is that if this old lady is a Gemini, she's still gonna be in her prime, fam. She's still gonna be like a full-blown Gemini, like she's gonna probably have mastered all her different ways and arsenals of communication at that point. So it could be a lot of trickery within her communication with you. See, now I'm gonna tell you, when you are, Scorpio knows when they see, this is the evil thing. It's okay. And I'm not judging a Scorpio. What I'm just saying is that when they do this, it's almost like they are very strategic when they decide to be quiet and not say nothing, not respond to anything. And they do this when they know you're ready to talk, when you're ready to talk about something that you're excited about to share. And they purposely will not answer you, talk. They'll act as if, you're not interesting, or hey, like they just totally have no interest in talking to you. See, that's how you know it's done intentional and it's strategic. So imagine that Gemini is just so happy that, hey, the pizza man showed up. So now the Gemini is like, I'm about to talk his ear off, right? Only to find out he's a Scorpio and he's using this tactic. And he says, oh, hey, Lori, how you doing today? She's like, I'm doing fine. Hey, come on in. Yeah, I have cataracts and I have arthritis. Please set it on the table here and you bring it in. The Scorpio, he's not going to say nothing. He's going to use this as a strategy to sting her. And see, she's going to be talking to him and he's going to be quiet. And then she's going to realize, well, wait a minute. Am I talking to myself? See? And a Scorpio, man, Scorpio has their mind made up because they already probe. They probe for questioning. They're very, very like laser focused on any type of thing that they're passionate about. So if they are passionate about these tactics and their revenge tactics, this is Freddy Krueger in the flesh. He's not going to, let you talk his ear off. No, he's not. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because he has strong will. See, once he makes his mind up, he's not going to change it, bro. Because he has a hard time letting go. Now, when it comes to, poor thing, if a Gemini is looking for a conversation, and hey, it ain't gonna work on that Scorpio with using that strategic silence. Now, the next tactic is what a Scorpio can use is boundary testing. See, the boundary testing, what is this going to do? Out of all the zodiac signs, who is it going to irritate the most? Leo. See, because that's the thing, he will check. Imagine a security guard that goes around the prison and checks all the doors to make sure they're locked at night, right? Well, what if you don't see him do his rounds? He's going around checking boundaries. Let me see if this door is unlocked. Let me see if this door is open. Can I get in here? He's sneaky like that. He'll go and check to see if there's any type of entryway that he could just walk in that has no boundaries. It's cold-blooded. Now, is that Freddy Krueger energy? Because it's like he's checking to see. See, it's like you thinking that he's just a security guard, for example, and he's just walking around doing his rounds. But what you fail to realize is that this man does things behind the scenes in the dark. See, he's like the newscast. He's like the producer, but you're watching the movie. You don't see the actual producer doing different tricks and different things, to control you, manipulate your emotions, to think that, this person is dramatic, or hey, it just looks like that. But what's really happening is it's a whole evil villain behind the scene in the dark. See, you ain't even met him yet. You ain't even seen him. You didn't even know he was there. That's why you have to be fully aware to not get hurt by a Scorpio of them. See, now the next thing and the next strategy of Scorpio, what would they use? Well, this tactic would be what? Stealth, observation. See, when we talk about stealth, what does this look like? This is like any guys out there ever played the game called Ghost Recon or Mission Impossible, where you have to like tiptoe. You cannot be seen. You gotta like get gain entry access without being seen by anybody. So that's Scorpio. See, that's Scorpio all day. Like, that's the type of person that can enter into a building, walk right past, swipe card, have access, just the access points, boom, door open. All of a sudden, he done snuck into the world's largest, private room, and wherever it is. And it's like, how did he get in there? Who let him in? He snuck his way through stealth. See, he's very sneaky like that. He'll do things under your nose that you didn't even know. Like somebody that steals something from you, and only for you to later find out that it's missing. Scorpio already took it, and he's already gone in the wind. See? Now, the next thing is, who would this affect the most out of all the zodiac signs when the Scorpio uses this tactic? Cancer. Why? Because they overthink everything. It's cold-blooded. See? Now, the next tactic that I have for Scorpio that they would try to use is subconscious influence. Now, what does this mean? See, this is mean that they can come off the dime with an idea, hoping you will go along with it. But so many of them are confident, and they know you're going to go along with it. See? Now, that's just beyond a control freak. That's more like a person that has, hey, they have an addiction. They have, they're so used to having the power to move people and control people. Welcome everybody that just walked in. Don't say that. Don't say that. What's going on, Misty? Welcome. I appreciate you coming out and helping with the moderator situation. Citizen, I welcome everyone. Now, like I say, the only reason I keep harping on this, you guys, because I think a lot of people they underestimate Scorpio. I could tell you several stories and examples, but only until you have witnessed it yourself, live in action. And if any of you have been hurt by a Scorpio, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. But like I say, it's not going to resonate with everyone, and I totally understand that. And I'm not saying it's every Scorpio. I'm just saying, like, I've seen Scorpios that go to church and literally still have manipulative ways, and it's crazy. Like, I knew a Scorpio, man. He went to church, and then when my mother would try to get like a word from him, he would purposely withhold it from her. See, this little stuff like, then he had the nerve to, she was leaving church, and this man grabbed because he had his own church, and my mom was leaving church, and you know what that Scorpio did? Church service was over with. He said, "Oh, I see that you missed the offering. You missed when we were actually, giving the offering." He said, "Oh, Sister so-and-so, would you like to give would you like to give something?" You don't do that. If church service is over, why the hell would you run outside chasing somebody you knew, or hey, a member of the church, and say, "Hey, you missed the whole what do they call it? The offering. You missed the whole ceremony with the offering. I'm sorry you was you missed it, but hey, here's the offering pouch or bucket. Would you like to give something because you missed the whole passing of the offering?" You don't do that. But that's manipulative. That's that controlling type of behavior from Scorpio. They're very gutsy like that, daring. See? Now here's the thing. This is not me being judgmental. This is me actually knowing, seeing this stuff happen in action, as I showed you guys with the other examples over the phone conversation. See, the same thing. Now, when it comes to the next thing is the fact that going back to the subconscious influence. So they can influence others subconsciously. See, and then on top of that, who actually is the most affected by it? Virgo. Because Virgo will what? They will misread into it. It's cold-blooded. Now, the next one I have is of a strong Scorpio tactic is emotional withholding. Could you imagine somebody that can apply the emotion? They can tell you, oh, I love you so much, only to not mean it at all. But they said it during a time where it was your honeymoon, your anniversary, at a time that you probably would have believed them, right? Because it would have matched the emotion of the situation. So when they use this tactic of emotional withholding, guess who is going to affect the most out of all the 12 zodiac signs? And I'm going to tell you, Libra. And why did I say Libra? Because Libra wants reciprocation. It's cold-blooded. Now, the next one I have is controlled conflict as the next Scorpio tactic. Controlled conflict. See, now what this means is that they can definitely test all the zodiac sign, but who is the most annoyed by it? And that's Capricorn. See, because Capricorn, they're going to feel tested when Scorpio does this. Now, I have so many, I ain't gonna lie, I have so many different ones. And like I say, I will continue, but the list is pretty long. It's a Martin Luther King long Christmas Santa list of all the different tactics of Scorpio. So I'll continue, but I'm just letting you guys know, it's so many of them. Now, the next one I have is, see, as I mentioned, they're very covert. So they also have the tactic of covert power plays. See, it's not just power struggles. I know a lot of y'all may understand this, where it's like a Scorpio may have an idea. They bring it to your attention, but they don't expect you to say no. They don't expect you to say, counter or, counter suggest or say, hey, I think we should do this instead of that. Because as soon as you try to do anything regarding changing that Scorpio mindset about something or, idea or decision, there's going to be a power struggle. So they also use the power plays as an advantage. Now, but just understand it's done covertly, okay? Now, who does this affect most out of all the zodiac signs, and who will feel the most challenged by it? And that's Aries, okay? Because Aries is the type of person that doesn't, they don't deal too well with people that are, that try to, use power to challenge others. No, they're going to be, good luck with that. It's hard to get an Aries to actually go along with something in the first place. See, especially if they're not the ones that made the plan or the decision to begin with. Now, the next Scorpio tactic that's often used against all the 12 zodiac signs, and that is provoking insecurities. See, provoking insecurities. And who out of all the zodiac signs the most affected by this? And it's Gemini. Why? Because Gemini, they debate themselves right after this is done. See, they debate themselves because it's like, oh, they know how to see this. The difference with Scorpio is that they can get under your skin quicker than most. See, they can set you off, and this is why a lot of times they go quiet on you. See, they go quiet because that volcano is about to erupt. They know they're going to say something that's going to rattle your cage or just going to, start a huge fight. So a lot of times they just be quiet because at that moment, they're like, hey, they don't have nothing nice to say. The next few words that they're about to say is going to get under your skin, see? So that's the reason why they, do the emotional withholding, what we explained earlier. Now, the next thing is a strong tactical Scorpio is calculated generosity. See, now this is bad because they know when to they know to be when to be generous in a situation. But some people fall for it because they might say, hey, you know what, I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. I'll pay for this. I'll do this. But it's calculated. And what this leads to is that out of all the zodiac signs, who would actually be, happy about this? Like, oh, thank you. I appreciate it. And show admiration. Leo, right? And then all of a sudden they feel indebted because now they know, like, oh, this wasn't a permanent thing. This was a temporary thing. See, it was like, yeah, you was just generous around, the marriage ceremony. But after that was over, you went back to your selfish ways. See, it was never real in the first place. Now, another thing is for the next tactic when it comes to Scorpio is the fact that they have a habit of revealing selective truths about people. Selective truths. Remember that Scorpios will always have something to hide from you. It doesn't matter if you did something to them or not. They will always keep secrets, hold on to secrets. And they selectively tell truths to others. But who is mostly affected by this? And I'm going to tell you, Cancer. See, why? Because on the flip side of things, Cancer, they trust selectively. Cancer doesn't trust everybody. They only trust certain people. So when a Scorpio reveals truths, a selective truths, that's going to be a deal breaker for Cancer. Now, the next strong tactic for Scorpio is loyalty questioning. We call this probing. You know how I know you guys may have heard the saying, probe to the anus. Probe to the anus, that little saying is, I know it's like an inappropriate saying, but what that means is that you get a little closer. See, so that's almost, we call that being nosy. We call that, trying to basically get info on a person, because 9 times out of 10, you probably will say a little too much, share a little too much, just like sharing size M&Ms, right? So when you get into that whole loyalty questioning that Scorpio often does, they're probing. See? And who do you think is the most affected by this out of all the 12 zodiac signs? I'm going to tell you who. Virgo. Why? Because they worry about fairness. See? They worry about because you got to understand when it comes to Virgo, they are, by nature, they're very, very, like, how can I say it? It's like they have bad nerves, in other words, because they're very, they could be very, how can I say it? Nervous. They have a lot of nervous energy. So that might be, they get upset real quick over, something that happens because they can't really fully analyze the situation how they want to. So they could get frazzled and start complaining. The type of person that, gets frustrated, they might say something like, let's say something happens. They might be like, God damn it. Like, I can't freaking get in my phone. Like, it's like a real reaction of seeing a person pissed off. That's how Virgo is. Virgo can get like pissed off, cuss everybody out, and will literally not give a damn. Like if they're acting irate like that or acting out of pocket, out of character, a lot of times they don't care. When they get frustrated, they show it. See? And they'll say things like, and their mouth is like a freaking razor blade, because it's like what they'll say in those moments, because they get annoyed very easily. They get annoyed quick. So it's like, if you do something, let's say you show up to work late, and your Virgo boss, he's just tired of your shit. Oh, he's gonna snap. And then he's gonna snap out. He's not gonna hide it. He's gonna say, you know what, Jerome? I'm so sick of his shit. This guy's late for work every fucking day. Like, I ain't doing, when he comes in, I'm firing his ass. Like, that's how Virgos can get. Like, when he comes in, I'm firing his ass. Like, and they can mean it too. But it's like, it's just funny because they let stuff like bother them so bad to where it's like, if you got the heat up too high, a Virgo will be like, God damn it, it's hot. Like, turn it, who has the heat up? Like, don't tell me he got that heat up on her, making my heat bill go up. It's like, just keep it at 70, because I'm hot. It's like, you know, it's just like they just overreact to where they use the same process of how they overanalyze, except they apply it to how they feel emotionally when something happens. It's like they can't just ignore it and be like, okay, just go turn the heat off. You know, if it's hot, you don't have to be like, you know, hot and bothered and showing it, especially Virgo men. Like a Virgo man could be very feminine, or just very he could act like a female when it comes to, you know, something that he may be dissatisfied with, you know. So that's something you gotta watch out with. Now, getting back to this, another strong tactic of Scorpio is strategic exposure. They have a habit of exposing others. See, we call that what? The mask dropping. Okay. Now, when they get into this mode of strategic exposure, who out of all the 12 zodiac signs the most affected? I'm gonna tell you who. Libra. Why? Because Libras, they will feel judged because of it. See, Libra don't take too well of like any, like Libra tries to get justice for it. See, if you say something about a Libra, expose them, even if it was true, they'll still try to make a case for you. It's like them as a judge in the courtroom. It's like, hey, you ain't got off the hook with what you said. See, and justice will be served. So it's like, yeah, they gonna feel judged if you try to expose them, especially when it's done as a tactic, strategically from a Scorpio. Now, the next one I have as a strong tactic of Scorpio that's often used on others is what? Emotional mirroring. Now, if this is done, who will be the most affected out of all the 12 zodiac signs? And that's Capricorn. Why? Because they will doubt their own control because of it. See, that I'm telling you, like, them Scorpios ain't nothing to play with, bro. And see, the next one I have as a strong tactic, and this could be a revenge tactic as well, and that is the silent tracking. See, and what this means is that Scorpio can stalk you. Scorpio can be the type of boyfriend, girlfriend that comes through unannounced. It's like that. It's like your baby daddy getting out of jail and he comes to your house, knocking on your door like he was just over there yesterday. He just did what, 10 years in the pen and is out the feds. Next thing you know, ding dong, he all in the ring camera like, babe, open the door. You're like, what the hell? How the hell you find me where I stayed and all this stuff? That's the type of, he could be like giving you those creep-like vibes. Freddy Cougar. It's like, bro, how do you find me? What, like, how, it's like you would feel as though that Scorpio is watching you through now I ain't gonna say telescope, but you know what I'm trying to say? You think he's watching through some type of lens. It's like, wait a minute. How is he watching me? Or am I seeing him in my dreams and he's what, kidnapping, doing something to me in my sleep or something? Because that, it can feel like torture. Because why? Scorpios won't let go. They tend to keep the same women. They have a passion and desire to keep the same women forever without letting go. They have a hard time letting go. See, they hold on to it for dear life. Through death do us part. Even if y'all ain't even married. It's crazy, I know. And here's the thing. When they do this silent tracking, who do you think is affected by this the most? Aries. As I mentioned, they will feel watched. See? There's no way you know where that person works and you pop up. See? So that's the thing. They do that to manipulate you to stay with them. See? It's a sick, controlled strategy. Now, the next strong tactic of Scorpio is subtle manipulation. So they don't just manipulate where it's like kind of loud and aggressive. No, it's subtle. So with this type of manipulation, this would be logic versus feelings. Sometimes you may feel like doing what? You may feel like doing the right thing logically, but that manipulation is so strong from a Scorpio because it's fully calculated. The spices have been added, the seasonings have been added, and you don't even know it. See, you don't even know that the plan was well thought out. So that's why when it happens, you don't see it for what it truly is. A lot of people just think that they're, just overthinking it. But no. So when it comes to this, you have to go by your intuition. You have to go by the feeling of the feeling being off. See? Now, when it comes to who's affected the most, Gemini. And that's exactly what they'll be doing. They'll be debating their feelings and versus the logical thing to do. Now, the next strong tactic of Scorpio that is often used on others is energy reading. A Scorpio can gauge and see how much energy you got. Especially when they're throwing, those heavy hits are very intense. They take a lot of energy out of you. So a Scorpio knows when you're wounded. They know when, you're feeling a little weak, a little stressed. See? And they'll try to come and sting you when they know, oh, he's done for. Yeah, he's calling off now. Because you could actually be having an issue with a Scorpio on your job. He's the type of person that's vindictive, petty, and he would get you fired if he feels slighted. See? Or he feels like you could take his position. He could strategize that jealousy. And he could do something that you didn't see coming because he knows how to manipulate. He knows. See, and the thing about it is when he works a job, he actually gets people to side with him, to trust him. So it's harder for you to prove something that he did. It's like telling somebody, yeah, Freddy Krueger came in my dream and he put me in a headlock and he was beating me up. And everybody is looking at you like you're full of shit. Like, no. Get this man, get him out of here. Get him out of here. And it's like, the person feel like, what? You guys don't believe me? And it's like, yeah, it happens. So when a Scorpio manipulates you and do you dirty, who are the people going to side with? Not you. They're going to side with the Scorpio. Like, because the Scorpio going to try to play that poker face like, I didn't do anything to him. See, he's always overthinking things. He always thinks someone's after him. He always thinks someone's chasing him and running, running circles around him in his sleep. Like, yeah, this guy is just a nutcase, bro. Matter of fact, get his ass out of here. That's the thing. Then people go along with the Scorpio because Scorpio plants the seed inside that person's head that they're innocent. And on top of that, people subconsciously are influenced by Scorpio. See, that's a dirty ass dog, bro. And see, the thing about it, when it comes to the energy reading, guess who this doesn't affect? Pisces. I'm gonna tell you why. Pisces sees through it and is immune to it. See? Because Pisces, this is the thing. When Pisces knows when you're paying attention to them. See? That's why Pisces has two fish. That's like going through a spiritual door and then going through a physical world door. See that? So the minute you think you know that Pisces, he gonna slip through that other door. And now he's something else. He acting different, talking different. It's like, wait a minute. Scorpio can only focus on one thing. See? Because of perception. See that? They don't go off the intuition. Doesn't mean they don't have intuition. They just don't use it. They go for what? Passions. They go for perception. They go for strategy. See? Intuition is way more powerful than strategy. And see how you conquer manipulation is through what? Is it called spontaneity? When you're very spontaneous, nobody can manipulate you. See? because you're doing too much. You have to sit still to be stung. See, that's why a bee can only focus on one target. He can't. If you moving around and you spontaneous and you hitting backflips and rolling on the grass, he can't sting you because he can't focus on one thing. Neither can a Scorpio. A Scorpio can't focus on all these different fishes and two fishes and all that shit. He can't keep up with all that. He'll get stressed. See, because he doesn't want to be seen. He's the type of person that wants to sting you, and then you're like, who did that? Who the hell did that to me? That's how Scorpio wants you. He wants you to not know who did it to you. See, he attacks in the dark. Freddy Krueger. See that? So that's the thing. Now, when it comes to the next strategy, the strong tactic from Scorpio that they often use on others, and that is emotional shadow tactics. See? Now, that's the thing that's like using the elements, using the emotions as a weapon. That's different. That's different fighting style. That's different. And see, out of all the zodiac signs, who is mostly affected by this? And that's Leo. Why? Because they feel threatened. See? Because they can play with the emotions. See? Of how one feels. So it ruins the whole devotion that Leo craves for, So the next thing is that a strong tactic of Scorpio that they often use on others is timing of communication. Deciding when they will talk and when they won't. See, and who is mostly affected by this out of all the 12 zodiac signs is Cancer. Why? Because they react emotionally. See that? So this is not somebody you can assume that you could just talk to every day and they'll listen to you. No, because Scorpio he'll be hot one day and cold the next. See, but it's done intentional. Now, the next tactic that he'll use is psychological traps. See, and what this would do to all the 12 zodiac signs is make them overthink, especially Virgo. See, Virgo would be mostly affected by this behavior. Why? Because they overanalyze things. See, so good luck trying to figure out why that Scorpio did what they did and then trying to overanalyze it. It ain't going to work. Now, the next tactic that Scorpio will use strategically is trust testing. This is not fair. This is cold-blooded. And trust testing, you don't even know they're testing you. You don't know when they're testing your trust. See? And what would this lead to? And who would affect the most out of the 12 zodiac signs? Libra. Why? Because it makes the Libra feel off balance and uncertain. See? They already can't make a decision because this is going to make it worse when Scorpio starts trust testing them. See? Because you might just think the Scorpio asking you something, just probing like they always doing, not really knowing that they just testing me, testing my trust. Hey, they might even say, oh, do you trust me? And it's like you being tested. You don't know that they're testing you. See? Now, the next one, that's a strong tactic of Scorpio that they oftentimes may use is authority assertion. Now, what this means is that when given the power, other zodiac signs will feel challenged. So that imagine having a Scorpio boss, let alone having a damn what do they call it? The CEO, Scorpio, Joe Biden or somebody, right? So what would this do? That authority assertion, what would this do? This would lead to everybody feeling challenged. And who will be affected the most by this? Capricorn. See? They will feel challenged by this. Because the Scorpio, he craves power. He or she, they crave power. See? They're very power hungry. So as soon as you give them a superiority, you give them some type of title, the account manager, some type of big, huge title or a job, they're going to get on a stinging spree, fam. They're going to assert themselves in such a way it's like militant. That's gonna be the boss that you're gonna hate, because he's gonna get on. He gonna be the type of boss that rides you, get on your ass, making sure you produce twice the amount of work. It's like he might be told that, hey, make sure the workers complete, the freight at night. The Scorpio, he gonna try to make sure you do like 3-4 loads of freight that it wasn't even required, but he just wants everything done to impress the big dogs. See that? So you got to be careful with Scorpio, because Scorpios, they go for bonuses. They go for the things on the job, like those bonuses, and hey, like you get the $1,000 if you guys get those loads out. That's the type of boss he could be. See? Because he wants those rewards for himself. And it's always like that. Will Scorpio be wanting some weird stuff? They always want the weird shit, like some weird rewards. See, those are the type of zodiac sign that saves the caps on the soda. Remember back in the day when you used to get a soda and you twist the cap and they'll say, hey, you want a free Mountain Dew. They'll actually collect those. You be like, bro, why is you saving those? Yeah, because I wanted to get free. I don't want to pay for a soda. Like, I'm saving these. Like, bro, come on, man. And they'll do have weird things like that. That's like, you don't really know why. Probably something you probably wouldn't do, but they'll be doing it. Now, the next one I have is control revelations. Now, this is deep. Control revelations. Who would this affect the most out of all the zodiac signs? I'm going to tell you, Aries. Why? Because they will react impulsively. See, they will actually jump out their seat and get to swinging when this happens, because the Scorpio can say something like he could pull a Bible verse out of his backpack on purpose and say something that he knows that is related to the Aries situation to sting him. But little did he knows that Aries, he hears that, and fire signs, they burn through reality. See, it's hard as hell to manipulate a fire sign. See, because fire burns through what? It burns through reality. So it's like they can really see you trying to pull something slick. You don't want to do that to an Aries, because Aries likes to what? They're considered the ram. They're going to want to bump heads with you when you challenge them. See? So they will end up hurting you over something you said, because they see through what you're doing. See? So that's the thing. Aries, they act fast. It's like they don't wait. It ain't like the type of sign that thinks about punching you. They just do it and ask questions later. So it's like, I know it sounds funny, but it's like, you set off for Aries, they'll literally, man, I'm telling you, they'll grab knives. It's like knives are their favorite weapons. They'll start like coming at you and literally like try to hurt you over like you telling them, hey man, you might tell them to shut up talking to you or something. That Aries will try to take you out. Yeah, and they ain't talking to a restaurant. They'll try to take you out. But here's the thing. Aries doesn't think about the consequences. See? They can literally murder someone, and then all of a sudden they can say something like, I'm talking about, they can murder someone and telling themselves like, yeah, he wouldn't stop talking, so I killed him. Then all of a sudden, when they're sitting in prison, funny thing is Aries will start thinking like, damn, I kind of want to play my PlayStation now. All of a sudden, hey, damn, I probably shouldn't have done that to him. It's like they'll finally come to their senses when it's too late. Like, yeah, that kind of wasn't worth it. Now I can't play NBA 2K no more. Yeah, I probably should have just let that slide. I shouldn't have got that angry. Yeah, I got to work on my self-control. Yeah, that wasn't the thing to do. It's like, mother effer, you just now realizing it. It's like, bro, you got to make sure it's water before your ass just impulsively just jump into something. Because they don't think, bro. They don't think. They go off of, they go off of the challenge, the rush that they feel. That oftentimes feels like a head high. See? Because their mind leads them to do things. They don't think about, they don't use their brain hardly when it comes to things. See? Now, So now I'm gonna give y'all a little bonus content, and this is to talk about why are Pisces immune to these Scorpio tactics that I mentioned. And it's not saying that, yeah, Pisces won't never react, but they will not let the Scorpio get the best of them, in other words. So why Pisces are immune is the fact that they have an innate intuition, see, that detects Scorpio's energy before the tactics even start. See, Scorpio has to wait and take time aside to put together these weapons. See, but by that time, the Pisces already done packed their bags and moved out of town, and they already on the flight. They already booked it to another state. They ain't gonna wait for Scorpio to make his weapons. No, because they already saw it coming, the intuition. See, and now the next thing is the fact that Pisces is immune to Scorpio's tactics because of the emotional armor that Pisces has. See, and how is this used? It's through empathy plus boundary awareness. See, because remember I told you guys, Pisces has boundaries. You just can't see them. But Pisces knows where their boundaries are. They just ain't, you just can't see their boundaries. See, because why? It's what you can't see. It's done subconsciously. See, you don't know when you come over their house. You got to take your shoes off when you come in their house. Pisces already subconsciously knows that's a rule, like that's a deal breaker for them. So if you were to wear your shoes in the house, that Pisces will aggressively tell you, hey, take your shoes off or get out. Like they'll literally reinforce it. You might say, well, hey man, I didn't know I had to take my shoes off, but it's like, now you know. But that's how the sternness will come out, because a Pisces knows their boundaries, but you don't. Now, I'll drink some water real quick, y'all. Now, the thing about it, which is the next thing, is Pisces has a non-reactive energy. See, and what this leads to, it leads to Scorpio's tactics. They start to lose power, see? Because that's what Scorpio stings you for, is for a reaction. See? If you don't show, and that go for other zodiac signs, if you do not react to what they do, they will lose power. And then they'll sting themselves, see? Now, when it comes to the next one of why Pisces are immune to Scorpio's tactics, is through subconscious reading, see? And what does this mean? Because that subconscious reading, it leads to Pisces seeing all the hidden motives early, see? And this is done naturally. You can't sneak up on no Pisces. It's very difficult to sneak up on a Pisces, because they will see you, fam. They will see you. Like a Pisces could be half asleep, and then all of a sudden, you put your Grinch costume on, you tiptoeing through the house, and next thing you know, you trying to go in the refrigerator and steal some barbecue that you know is not yours, and you trying to, steal some of the Pisces barbecue that they order from, Tony's or whatever, right? Man, that Pisces will catch your ass red-handed, bro, to where you thought they was asleep, and you'll hear their footsteps, do. Yeah, I know you ain't eating my damn barbecue. That's just that's how Pisces intuition can be, like on some, they felt you. Like you didn't know it was a boundary right there. See, you didn't see the door. You didn't see what the Pisces already has set. See, it's like a trap that you didn't see coming, bro. So then you just, running around the house, sneaking around and you tiptoeing, and that Pisces just wake up and just catch you. It's like, yeah, I knew something. I knew you You know, yeah, I knew you was snooping around. It's like, damn, how did you know I was getting some stealing your barbecue? And then what would a Pisces say to you? Because I know you. That's cold-blooded. Because I know you. Like, yeah, stay out of my damn barbecue. Like, literally, there was a dude in my state in Milwaukee. This man murdered his son because his son ate his last piece of cake, bro, from his birthday. Grown man, bro. That's sad. But why would you go to jail, bro? What would make a person go to jail because their son ate their last piece of birthday cake? That mean that birthday cake must have been the bum.com then for him to put that damn cake over his life. To get life in prison because, bro, you killed somebody that ate your last piece of birthday cake. That's sad, bro. That's just ridiculous. That's Milwaukee for you, bro. Now, the thing, back to the next thing, you guys, why Pisces are immune to Scorpio tactics is because of Pisces' calm observation. See? Because Pisces are patient when they observe. And what does this lead to? It leads to Scorpio revealing themselves without Pisces intervention. See? Because why? Scorpios, they know. See, the thing about it, they would rather sting themselves instead of admitting that you bust them, you caught them, you know, anything that's done that, that you caught them doing. They do not want you to feel like you conquered them, see, because it's the power that they've lost. See, the fear of loss, the fear of losing. See, so if a person has a fear of losing and they know they're caught, they're gonna just throw the towel in, see, and retreat because they know, oh, I was caught anyway. And because the Pisces is so calm, the Scorpio's impatient. He doesn't want to wait for a reaction. He wants a immediate reaction. See? So he's looking for, once he does something hurtful to you, he's waiting to see, oh, did it work? Did it go? He goes back and checks his traps, like, did I catch something? Did I catch something? It's like, oh, no reaction. He wants to hear that mouse scream. Ah! You see, like when he said, I'm not trying to be funny, you guys, with my, examples, but he wants to hear you squirm. He wants to hear that reaction when he stings you. See, he wants you to be flustered. He wants you to be irritated. He wants you to be annoyed. He wants to hear a screech, something. So when he doesn't hear nothing, he gets pissed. And who does he take all that out on? Himself. See? And he gets pissed. I'm talking about just as passionate as he is about doing these strategic things, he will end up doing it to himself because at that moment, he's vulnerable. He's vulnerable to pain. He would rather soak into that whole, woe is me, and hey, people done me wrong, and friends, people were cool with me, and then hey, turned their back on me or replaced me. See, and then all of a sudden, when people stop buying into his manipulation, then that's when he starts to disappear. See, when people no longer fear Freddy Krueger, now it's almost like he's not as strong as he once was because everybody was afraid of him. Everybody reacted to who he was and what he was known for. But now that no one cares, he feels like, oh, well, hey, I got to get the hell out of here then because, hey, nobody's afraid of me. See? And that can happen on a job. And once people find out, that, figure him out, he's going to dip. He's going to want to go work somewhere else. Because everybody Everybody is on to him, in other words. So there you have it, you guys. Scorpios are the masters of strategy, science, very calculative, and are deadly effective, man. These tactics are deadly effective, and you got to be on your P's and Q's, be on your toes when you're dealing with them, because you never know when they're going to go, when they're going to revert to these tactics. Now, a little bit about the story I told you guys yesterday. The funny thing is, I don't know if the deal is off, you guys, because today with the Scorpio, I wasn't feeling good in my stomach about the whole situation, because the $20 situation, and I asked him for proof. I said, yo, can you send me the proof of like the chain and the transaction, and because he had the information in his possession with the everybody's giving him the money to pay for the chain. So because the dude that's making the chain is his connect, that's the jeweler, that's he knows the guy. So that's why everybody gave the Scorpio the money to get it, because he's going through his connect. So I asked him for, hey, let me see the transaction, send me a screenshot of, or the invoice about, how much more needs to be paid. And you know what the Scorpio told me? He said, oh, I feel like you don't trust me. What do I have to lie about? But I'm like, wait a minute. Now you're doing this trust, what I just said. Now you're doing this trust testing, and you're going to say, instead of giving me the proof, because I'm like, I got the $20, but I don't want to send it unless I see the invoice. I want proof of the transaction, because I said first you said 30, and then once I contributed 30, now you asked for another 20. I said no, that kind of showed a pattern of inconsistency. Like, it ain't got nothing to do personally with trust. I said, shit, if he can't understand that, then he definitely scamming, fam. So he was just like, no, he said, I got a job. He's like, yo, I got a job somewhere now. And I was like, oh, congrats. And he was like, yeah, because he was like, at this point, I don't really give a damn about the chain at this point. I'm like, bro, just because I asked for proof, this is how you spiraling out? It's because he didn't get his way, y'all. That shit that he pulled didn't work. Because I asked for proof of the invoice. I said, let me see it. Let me see, the back and forth conversation between you and these people. Because I'm like, I don't believe it. I ain't putting no more money on nothing unless I get a screenshot. So he got frustrated, though. He got emotional first. And then he sent it, but he was angry. And then he was like, oh, you don't trust me, man. He was like, if you don't trust me, just say that. I'm like, see, now I know I can't trust you because you said it. See? Now that's what y'all think about that. Because I'm gonna tell you, I ain't heard from him all day today. Normally I hear from him like once or twice. I ain't heard nada. I ain't heard from the Libra. Nope. I ain't heard from the Cancer. Nope. So if it took me to ask that one question for proof of purchase of the whole transaction situation, only for them to not say nothing else to me, I ain't heard from them today. That sound like guilt. That sound like, oh, you didn't do what I wanted you to do, so I'm gonna ghost you. Like, bro, if the money was for you to go in your pocket, I can see why you're mad. See? Because you didn't get that, you couldn't swindle me. But if any understanding person would have been like, oh, if they were honest from the jump, they would have been like, oh yeah, I'll send you a screenshot, I'll send you a picture of the invoice, no problem. Yeah, we just need $20. And then he sent it to me, and it said, yeah, we need $20. But he also didn't show the previous conversation. He just showed me what I asked for, and I found that to be sneaky. See, he didn't show me the whole the whole, you know, transaction for the other 30 bucks that he said he needed in order for the situation. I'm like, wait a minute, something ain't sounding right. The intuition, that's what it does. It allows you to slow down, see, and observe. Remember I said, when you remain silent, what does that do? That reveals the Scorpio's, his moves, see. He doesn't want you to be silent. He wants a reaction out of you. See, he wants to know, in regards to what he's doing, is it working or not? So yeah, just know, like, comment, share, subscribe, you guys. I'm gonna be working on some videos for y'all as well. Smash the like button, hype the video up. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all tomorrow on the next live. Stay safe and peace out.